As always, it is my pleasure that you join me for today's podcast of Second Chance Coaching. My name is Dr. Richard Lewis. If you'd be so kind as to leave me a rating and your feedback, I would very much appreciate it, and it will help others like you to optimally discover this podcast wherever you listen to this and your other favorite podcast. As you know, at Second Chance Coaching, we focus on seeing everyday life through the eyes of the returning citizen and highlighting the resiliency of the human spirit. I would love to work with you one-on-one, whether you're a returning citizen or coaching client seeking your second chance, or you're a representative of a business, college, or university seeking to integrate and support returning citizens in your respective organizational and learning environments. Please feel free to contact me via email at richard@secondchancecoaching.com or via Instagram at the Dr. Richard Lewis. Welcome back to another edition of Second Chance Coaching. It is my hope all is well with you on your side of the world. Overall, all continues to be well on this side of the world with me in mind. Before I get started for today, I just want to say to you, I want to give a really big shout out to the 50th anniversary of Hip Hop Tribute that took place at the Grammy Awards this past Sunday night. What a love letter to my Generation X and the generations that have come afterwards, especially those lovers of hip hop music. That was a tribute that is a must see. If you didn't see it on Sunday night, go on YouTube, go on Hulu, on a streaming service that you can replay it again. That 50th anniversary tribute to hip hop was something to see. Definitely brought a lot of memories back and certainly made my living room into a dance club for those minutes that tribute was on. Quite sure it did the same for you, and it will do the same once you see it. Guaranteed it's a must see. You got to see it. As we continue with today's episode, yesterday I had two exciting things happen. First, at our college, we had a signing ceremony with the Broward State Attorney's Office, Public Defender's Office, and the Florida Department of Corrections to launch two programs. And those programs are our Corrections to College program and our Court to College program. The first program, the Corrections to College program, serves the women from the Hollywood Community Work Release Center here in Hollywood, Florida. And this program allows the residents of the center to pursue work readiness training by obtaining Lean Six Sigma Yellow Belt certification. Also, they could pursue supply chain management certification, digital and social media marketing training, and Amazon Web Services and Cloud Practitioner certification and training. In addition to this educational training, the residents also will receive substance abuse and mental health counseling if they need it, employment placement services, and all other case management and support services that are needed. Now, the Court to College program, in partnership with the Broward County State Attorney's Office, provides young adults the opportunity, if they meet certain criteria, to transition from the criminal justice system and attend the college and pursue one of the following certifications. They could pursue automotive service technician, marine electrician, and logistics and transportation specialist programs. The most exciting part of yesterday's signing ceremony for me was that I had the honor to meet one of the young men who is currently going through Court to College, and I had an ample opportunity to speak with him about how Court to College has impacted him, turned his life around, and how excited he is for the future, for his future. It was an exciting morning for sure, to be able to work at a college that really allows me to live in the mission of my dissertation and allow me the privilege of teaching students on how to find their voice and really sharpen their business IQ. It is something I'm so looking forward to continuing to do and looking forward to and excited and privileged that I've been able to do it thus far. The second exciting thing that happened to me was that I had dinner with one of my most cherished mentors. That person is 89 years young, Mr. David Rothenberg, who is the founder of the Fortune Society. I have to tell you, this is a man of courage, intelligence, humor, decency, and transformational change all wrapped up into one. But I could go on and on about David, as many of us can. But I will say this to you. David's life has impacted me, and just his presence has impacted me and so many returning citizens so much. It's more than I could say on this podcast. I certainly invite you to buy his autobiography and read his autobiography, Fortune in My Eyes, which you could still purchase on Amazon.com. All I can say is that I truly love this man so very much, and I know I'm not alone in that feeling. And his impact on my life has been so indescribable and very much appreciated, to say the least. At dinner last night, I also enjoyed the company of David's sister, Clara, another mentor, Walter Strauss, and his wife. Now, the only person we were missing was Barbara Allen. Barbara is the founder of Prison Families Anonymous, who also has her own autobiography, Doing Our Time on the Outside. I love Barbara very much as well, and her story is so moving and inspirational, and even to this very day, she continues to be a staunch advocate for prison families and criminal justice reform and reentry. We're really sorry we missed you, Barbara, and we look forward to seeing you again to break bread. During the course of our dinner, all of us talked about so many different subjects. We talked about the politics in Florida and New York. We talked about the Yankees, classic television sitcoms, and of course, catching up with what's going on in our lives. David asked me during dinner, or at least towards the end of dinner, when was I, quote unquote, threatening to come back and visit New York? I always say that I'm going to visit New York, and then I never have an opportunity to do so. I told him I was planning to come to New York City, and he encouraged me to take the advice of an 89-year young man. And he told me to make sure while I'm working hard to make a living and to save the world, to not forget to refresh, regroup, reflect, and enjoy life. And, in that time frame, take a vacation every once in a while. When we had that conversation, it made me think about taking vacations. And of course, even you to take vacations as part of your reentry journey, whether it's at the beginning of your journey or the long-term sustainable part of your journey. I can say when I had that conversation with him, I told him I'm definitely planning on following up on the thread. I'm going to New York City this summer and coming in for part of my vacations that I plan to take this year. And it'll be the first time I've been in New York since 2019. In addition, our institution has our spring break coming up in less than a month, and I will make sure that I'll be refreshing, regrouping, and reflecting during that time. I'll also be going to New Orleans and North Carolina to see the babies be christened, celebrate their respective one-year birthdays, and just be around to build the bonds of love and build those memories. Right now, I could say I'm at the sustainable long-term part of my reentry journey, and I'm able to have those multiple trips, and I'm fortunate to be able to do so. But not long ago, that wasn't always the case. I was at the beginning of my reentry journey, and when the children were much younger, they would come for their summer visitation. And like many of you at the beginning of your reentry journey, you're faced with a lot of things. You have restrictions on travel, you have a curfew, you have finance issues that come up. But even with all of that, I could sit there and tell you that doesn't stop one from enjoying a refreshing, regrouping, and reflecting vacation. I'll remember that first vacation that summer with the kids. We spent a few days together by going to Staten Island, enjoying the amusement park there, maybe enjoying a little bit of the beach as well. We ate at Nathan's and we drank Orange Julius, and those of you who are from New York, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That is a good time. The next day, we went and enjoyed Central Park and spent the day there. Then the next day after that, we went bowling. We went to Dave & Buster's, and we played plenty of games. Just had a really good time. And in the midst of all of that, we didn't go out of town. I didn't break curfew. I stayed within the restrictions of my travel. And those memories really bonded us in love. And those were a lot of activities we did. But in the midst of everything, we did a lot of those activities without me spending a small fortune. A couple of years later, we were in Florida, and that's when the kids were about to spend the first summer in Florida there with us. I wasn't living there yet, but that's where they were going to be going, and I was going to spend some of my summer there as well. I wanted to make it a really special summer for the kids, and it was my plan for us to go to Disney World in Orlando. I had been home for a few years, but I didn't know if I could, or really even we could as a family, afford that vacation. Disney World is not cheap, and this is in 2005. It wasn't cheap back then, and certainly I know it's not cheap now. But even in the midst of that and looking at the financial challenges of everything, I will never forget the wisdom of my mother and my sister about saving for at least one vacation a year. They both shared with me, and what I'll share with you today as well, the 40 for 40 formula. And the 40 for 40 formula was pretty simple. That would be saving $40 per week for 40 weeks, which if you do your math, that would give you a total of $1,600 to go towards your vacation. Now, in particular, my sister would always say, and she still says it today, because I certainly believe it. She said, if you had $1,600, then you could not only have a really good vacation, but you could have a great vacation. My response to my sister would be something to the effect of, that does make sense. You could have a pretty good vacation, but $40 per week, 40 whole American dollars per week. How can we actually do that? My sister would kind of smile, laugh, and chuckle, and really say to me, that's pretty simple. When you go to work, she goes, I'm going to give you a secret, Richard. Just listen up to me and you'll understand what I'm telling you. And then she'd say, you know what? Simple 5 words. Bring your lunch to work. And then she said to me, if you go out and buy lunch every day, and on average you spend $10 a day, and this is back in 2004, 2005, and you could easily spend $10 a day on lunch. But in today's economy, that could be as much as $13 or even $14 a day if you eat out, and that's just for lunch. Don't take into consideration if you also eat out for breakfast and you also eat out for dinner at least 2 or 3 times a week. Let's just keep it as $13 to $14 a day just for lunch. But for the purposes of this conversation, let's keep it in the 2005 range or 2004 range in the planning of the vacation. Let's keep it at $10 a day. And for a 5-day work week, you go to work every day, $10 a day, that's easy math, that's $50 a week. Now, if you go on the high end, even back then or even now, at $14 a day, if my math is correct, that's $70 a week. So mom and my sister were certainly on point with their wisdom. If we, brown bag our lunch, then $40 a week for 40 weeks to get to $1,600 is attainable. It's really attainable with focus and discipline. My sister would sit down with me because I said, listen, I need to get this knowledge from you. And she would sit down with me and would give me the timeline of saying, you know what? You want to start to save your money at the beginning of August. And the 40 weeks would be reached pretty much by the beginning of May. So assuming that you're going on a summer vacation, then you're good to go by the beginning of May, if that's what you're looking to do. Simple and plain, today's lesson. I just love and continue to love my sister's wisdom. That formula could really put you in a position to refresh, regroup, reflect, and build that framework of self-care and the memories and bonds of love with your loved ones. Something simple. Just bring your lunch to work, brown bag it. And right now, even today in 2023, just like it was in 2005, $1,600, that's a really good vacation. Matter of fact, that's a great vacation. And so I look forward to you really building that framework of taking care of yourself in the midst of all the work that you do. You're working hard to get your reentry straight. You're building a living. But don't forget the fact that you got to take care of yourself as well. You have to refresh, regroup, and reflect. Build that framework of self-care. Build those memories and bonds with the people that you love, with your loved ones. You only get one chance to do it in this lifetime. So I know you'll take care of that. And I will definitely be going on vacation, no matter what. No matter how hard we work, I'll definitely be doing that vacation. And I look forward to you taking those vacations as well. Thank you as always for joining us. I'm so excited for your progress. I'm excited to share these stories and these lessons with you. Please continue to join us, follow us, subscribe, give us a 5-star rating if you think we've earned it. We always look forward to catching up with you, connecting with you. Reach out to us, like I said, and we look forward to connecting with you again next week. Thank you again for joining us here at Second Chance Coaching. In addition to coaching services for individuals and businesses, I'm also available for speaking engagements and workshops on criminal justice reentry, human resources, as well as organizational culture and leadership. Feel free to email me at richard@secondchancecoaching.com, as well as connect with me on Instagram at @DrRichardLewis. Remember, every day you are given this opportunity for your second chance, and I know you'll make the best of it. I love you all, and I look forward to connecting with you next time here at Second Chance Coaching.